74 days until sports betting goes live in the state of Missouri.
You're listening to Cap Free Sports Radio, where the takes are bold, the facts are real, and the cap is nowhere in sight. From the locker room to the headlines, we keep it 100 every sport, every time. Let's get into it.
It is Thursday, September 18th, 2025. You are listening to Cap Free Sports Theory, and yes, I know. It's been way too long. It's been 5 whole days since last Saturday, the last episode of Cap Free Sports Theory. And yes, I promised an episode either Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. But here we are on Thursday. And if you remember back to the beginning, it was always supposed to be at least one. It was supposed to be once a week anyway. So hey, 5 days later, still doing okay over here. Anyway though, supposed to kick off on my format here. We're supposed to kick it off with the week 2 recap. But listen, here's the deal. It's my show, and I feel like talking about some other things first. So, we're going to talk about some fantasy football stuff that I've seen online and other things. So, on the Fantasy Football Advice Group page on Facebook, this guy posted several hours ago. He posted that he traded away Saquon Barkley, and he got back Josh Jacobs, Zay Flowers, and Jacoby Myers. And he put as the caption, he said, "I had to, boys. I needed depth bad. Do y'all think I undervalued Saquon, or was it a solid trade?" And the first thing I'm thinking is, like, when you guys say that you needed depth, are you saying you needed depth to put on your bench? Or are you saying that you needed players to put in your starting lineup? Because I mean, it's cool to have people on your bench. I get it, but me personally, I'm probably not trading for bench players most of the time. Now, that being said, I actually don't think Jacobs and Barkley, I don't think they're going to be that far off this year, because we all know Barkley ran 2,000 yards last year. So if he does that again, then they might not be close. We understand that. We get that. But my thing is, any runner in my time, 30 years of watching football, any runner that's either ran 2,000 yards or ran the ball 400 times in a season, and we're talking about Terrell Davis, Larry Johnson had 400 carries. Chris Johnson had a 2,000-yard season. Jamal Lewis had a 2,000-yard season. Adrian Peterson had a 2,000-yard season. All those guys, after they did either a 2,000-yard season or they had 400 carries, they just weren't never the same as they were before that. Because that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. The exception is Derrick Henry, of course, because he's a freight train. There's not a lot you can do about Derrick Henry. So, for me, I don't expect Barkley to have back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't see that happening. And the other thing with Barkley is, so when Green Bay is on the 1-yard line, Josh Jacobs is going to get the opportunity to score 6 fantasy points by running the ball into the end zone. When Saquon Barkley's team, Philadelphia, is on the 1-yard line, there's actually a better chance he's not going to get the ball at the 1. They're going to run it in with the quarterback, Hurts. So, if they both run similar yardage, the way I like Green Bay, and I think they're going to be ahead in running. And clearly, Jacobs catches passes as well. I think those two guys are more closer to a wash than people are thinking. Because a lot of people will go off how Barkley did last year. And that's fine. If Barkley does what he did last year, he's going to be the better back. But I think they're a lot closer. And then this guy, now that's back to the point about depth. Is he saying he's giving away Barkley depending where you rank Barkley. If you're like me and they're similar, then it don't matter a lot. If you like Barkley more, I'm sure there's a lot of you that will prefer Barkley by a significant amount. If you're switching those two, and then you're just taking back Zay Flowers and Jacoby Myers to put on your bench as, quote, depth, then if you like Barkley so much more, then the trade doesn't make sense. Now, if you're able to use one, if not both of those guys for your starting lineup, then the trade makes sense. And for me, that would mean Jacoby Myers, because Jacoby Myers you can put in your lineup every week and be happy about it, feel okay about it, feel confident, and like the results. For me, Zay Flowers, I would just rather not. I'm not saying it won't work. It worked week 1. I don't even know what it did week 2, to be honest. And I have him in one league. I took him because I drafted 10 leagues, and there he was, sitting there way below his ADP because nobody wants him. He's okay for best ball, but I don't even like him there much. Flowers would be a good bye week filler, I guess. But I told this guy, I was like, listen, yeah, you can play. If you're going to use Myers every week, that's good. And if you think Jacobs and Barkley are similar, which I do, then you're good. But I would try to find somebody who is either a Lamar Jackson fan or a Baltimore fan or a bandwagon Baltimore fan because they love Lamar Jackson, or even somebody that's somehow a Zay Flowers fan. I'd try to find somebody like that and sell Zay Flowers to that guy for something else I need, whether it be a quarterback, a tight end, more depth. But that's just me. But overall, as long as he's using Jacoby Myers in like he needed that wide receiver spot filled, I don't hate it. I don't think it's that bad. Because you get Jacobs where Barkley was at, and I'm saying I think that's fair. That's decent. And if Jacoby Myers becomes a starter for you, sure you could probably do better, but I don't mind Jacoby Myers at all. And then I guess, Flowers had like 28 points week 1, so while I'm over here hating, he was over there scoring points week 1 in that shootout with Buffalo. So as far as this guy's trade goes, I don't hate it at all. I think he did cool. And then our buddy Josh, he's in a league where a trade went down where somebody gave away Devon Achane for Indianapolis tight end Tyler Warren, the rookie. And my first thing was like, oh, that's not that bad. Because I thought Achane didn't do well one of the 2 weeks, but I looked, Achane had 15 and 26. But I knew Warren had did good, but his good was like 10 and 13. I just thought it was better. But I'm saying for his first 2 weeks, I think what happened was the first 2 or 3 possessions, not like the first possession of his career, he had like 5 for 50 or something like that. And I was like, oh, wow, they're using this kid. So I think I got a little mixed up about that. But then I seen somebody comment and they said that's not that bad for Dynasty. And I suppose maybe it isn't. I love Achane. There's a good chance he gets, hurt probably. But so I'm pretty sure Josh was firmly against this though. But I'm trying to get the backstory. Was it a husband and wife that traded or something? I don't know. Was there some kind of collusion going on? Because that's the only way I would have an actual problem with it, I guess. If somebody got taken advantage of, that's kind of how it goes. Every trade ain't gonna be equal. But the funny thing is, these type of trades where you think one side is so much stronger than the other in the trade, it's got a funny way of working itself out to where just wait and see. If that trade holds up, Achane for the tight end from the Colts, Warren, just wait a couple weeks and then check again, and then check again at the end of the year. Let's see how it turns out, because Achane misses some games. If the Warren guy continues to progress, you just never know. These trades got a funny way, and especially if they got a real funny way of working themselves backwards if they're trying something funny like some kind of collusion. But at the same time, collusion, I'm a firmly against a veto in a league, especially a league where we're all grown and we all paid our money. We should be able to do what we want with our teams. I'm firmly against doing a veto. However, if it is actual collusion, and the other part that's going to be the tough part is if you can prove that it is, because you can suspect it, and it gets weird. It can get weird, but if you can prove that it's collusion, then yeah, I mean, I think that's so. In the event of a collusion, I think so. I'm still against a veto, right? So in the event of collusion, yeah, I guess we're undoing the trade because of a veto, but I don't think it stops there. In the event of collusion, those two got to go. They're out of the league. Bye. Hopefully they paid their dues, right? Because if they ain't paid their dues, now you got a big problem here in the third week of the season. I mean, because now you're probably going to have to find two new owners and have them pay. But if these guys have paid, or girls, I don't know the situation at all. I don't, for something's telling me it's a husband and wife. I don't know. It's probably because I know Josh did a league where it was like a couples league, but this doesn't even make sense because all the couples would have been on the same team. So maybe I don't know why that's in my mind. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if they're colluding, they gotta go. Bye. Yeah. And that's what another thing. Like, I know Josh runs a lot of leagues through League Safe, which is definitely a smart thing to do because you get all the money in, and everybody can see that it's in and all that. So in the leagues that I'm in, that we've been in 11 years, like the CFL, we don't have a problem with the money. And I'm as guilty as anybody of waiting until the week 7 or whatever deadline it ends up being. I don't know why. Just because sometimes I feel like waiting. I don't know. I really don't know. But the money always gets in. But maybe we should normalize having the money on the draft day. I'm not, obviously that would be best for everybody involved to take all the money up front and not even have to worry about chasing folks down. Man, I'm really hoping to hear from Josh. I'm not sure if we will. I figure he would be at the gym because I'm recording this early on Thursday morning. But, yeah, in the comments, what do y'all think? A-Chain for Warren. And Josh did say it was a redraft league, so is that fair? A-Chain for Warren. What about the other trade? Barkley for Josh Jacobs, Zay Flowers, and Jacoby Myers. How about those trades? Would y'all do them? Well, what do you know? As I was recording, Josh gets back to me to answer me about, we wanted the scoop. We wanted the 411 on what happened with the A-Chain and Warren trade. Because yesterday evening, as I was going into work, Josh made a post and he did not seem too happy about it. So now we get to hear it straight from Josh.
So, Cap, this is what happened. I've been in this league for 3 years. It's a 10-man, very well-ran league by my buddy Chad. He's always been a good commissioner. He's never had any issues with trades or anything. And I open up my phone and I see a trade went through. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I look at it, and it's completely lopsided. And it's by someone who has no running backs left over after this trade. It just looks fishy. I'm not saying collusion. I'm just saying stupidity. But as a commissioner in multiple leagues, you're in a couple of my leagues, I hold myself to a standard of knowing when you're taking advantage of someone. He says, oh, well, he sent it to me, so I just accepted it. that is not the way it should go. Like I said, hold yourself to a different standard. It is completely a lopsided trade. Some people agree that it is, and it isn't. But it's also very, very fishy. His roster was lacking a running back, and now all of a sudden he has a running back. I have let him know that I will no longer be in his league after this year. So hopefully I can win the championship and just walk out like that. But I won't be a part of somebody's league. And in his league, when a trade processes, it processes like in 5 minutes. There's no voting on it. There's nothing. It just goes through, which is like that in mine too. In some cases, when I know there's no backlash and there's a fair trade, I have no problem with pushing it through. In this case, this was very much just forced and weird. I posted the other guy's roster. The other guy had Sam Laporta on his bench and traded for Tyler Warren. That doesn't make any sense. I know Sam had a bad game, but it's still Sam Laporta. So that's a little bit of the backstory. It is literally costing me a friendship over this. And yes, that's sad, but I don't play with someone who doesn't have integrity and trust someone anymore that can be a normal human being. So, thanks for talking about it, Cap. Appreciate you.
So, the beautiful part about the world that we live in and the country that we live in, especially, is that I don't have to fully agree with Josh here. Because for me, I'm not vetoing for somebody being stupid, but he is saying that it is a little weird. Given this back information on this, if the guy is trading away, the guy getting Achane was desperate for a running back, and now all of a sudden, out of thin air, if you don't value Warren at all, but I mean, you know, if injuries are turned off, it's pretty clear Achane will be the best player. Yeah, I mean, with the back information that the guy needed a running back and now he just out of nowhere gets a running back, that does make it kind of interesting. But like I'm saying, I love the fact that Josh he's going to stand his ground where he feels about it. So, and that's how everybody should be doing. As far as like trades going through immediately, I'm all for that. Back years and years ago in the CFL, it was never a veto vote. It just the commissioner had to put it through. And I used to make about 3 trades a week. So when Charlie was the commissioner, he likes to get his sleep so he can work, but I'm always wanting my trade process through. So eventually one day, while Charlie was commissioner, he just changed the settings to trades just go through. I mean, if there ever was an issue, I'm sure we could, obviously, your commissioner can undo a trade, but we've never had an issue because, and there's been trade grapes. See, I don't even feel comfortable saying that word. There's been trade fuckings, and that's just part of it for us. I mean, but I get Josh. It's all good. I ain't even mad at you. You need to stand. If you feel that way, like if it feels, I don't know the league, so if it's bad, then you'll know. I won't know. So that's all I'm saying. Like normally, I would totally be against a veto, even in a situation where somebody's a dumbass. But I mean, if they already got Laporta, why do they need Warren? And then if their buddy and if you didn't necessarily say it was their buddy, I'm still thinking it's husband and wife maybe. I don't know though. But that guy had no running back. Now he got some running back. I get it. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, maybe we're going to have to catch an update on that. And if that trade ends up standing, now for the rest of the season, we get to track Achane versus Tyler Warren. What a unique combination of players to try to track down. So Josh, as always, I appreciate you. It was a little late, but it wasn't. It was right on time. You popping in. Better late than never, but better right on time. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you, Josh, as always. Green Machine. Now this is just getting crazy because I didn't know if we were going to hear from Chief Morris this week or not. But as Josh came at the last second, Mike Morris popped up and he said, "Hey, you still want this segment?" And I'm like, who doesn't? So, and my thing is this. I'm trying to get to bed a little bit here. So, assuming that Mike or Chief Morris does as well as he did last week, I may be able to postpone my week 3 thoughts until tomorrow or Saturday, which is perfect for me right now. But trust me, you're still going to hear about week 2 a little bit from me. We're going to get there. But before that, we had an interaction between Chuck Lace and Lavar, the Eagles man, yesterday, and it was interesting. So I made a little group chat for the Theories, I ain't going to say staff, that sounds wrong, but the contributors to the show. We're talking about Josh, Lavar, Chuck Lace, Chief Morris, and Cousin Zachy. And Charlie had something to say yesterday, man, and he came in hot. 3:58 p.m., Chuck Lace. Random thought in my head. 10 years from now, when we look back at Jalen Hurts' career, would he have amounted to anything without the tush push? Without it, I highly doubt we see this weird version of any team where one play defined them. So, that sparked a little bit of a back and forth. I jumped in, and here's what I had said. Mine's on audio. So, I'm not with you guys on the whole hang up about the tush push. I don't have a problem with Hurts at all, actually. I mean, he's a game manager. That's the truth. So it's not the tush push that we're going to say carries Hurts through, but it is the roster that's around Hurts that does help carry him through. And then Chuck Lace would respond to me.
All I know is I was just thinking, just all these situations of 3rd and 3s, 4th and 3s, 4th and 2s that wouldn't have went their way. They would have punted. They would have went for a field goal. They would have turned it over if they went for a different play, to where some of these outcomes of these games would have been way different. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm cool with Jalen Hurts. Like, he is a game manager. But like I'm saying, like, some of these times where 4th and 2, they're going for a touchdown, it might have been a field goal attempt miss. That's all I'm saying.
And then I respond half on topic, half off topic, I guess. One thing that's bothering me a little bit is Philadelphia has the Chiefs acting like all these other teams have been acting towards the Chiefs for a lot of years. Chiefs come out of that second half and go for the 4th and 1 at their own 28 on the first possession in a tie game in the third quarter. I don't know. And Lavar typed in pure comedy, but Chuck Lace was hoping to get more from the Eagles guy. So he eventually got Lavar to respond.
So using your same premise with the whole having a team, we're getting blamed for converting 4th and 2s. Like, that's wild. But using that same premise, it's not 1 versus 11. Last I checked, even the greatest quarterback in the game needs weapons, as we kind of see, fellas. You have no line, ass. No receivers, ass. So how does Patrick look? Ass. I mean, you could only get by with the Juju Smith-Schusters and Hollywood Browns so long, man. I'm not going to feel bad for having a team around Jalen. What are we talking about here? Last I checked, that was the goal, was to build a winning team. That's just hilarious, man. I'll take my game manager, whatever. I don't want the glitz and glamour. The only glitz and glamour I want is the Lombardi. As long as my QB gets me that and converts a 4th and 2. I mean, yo, wow. Like, yeah, it was a false start. And, two things could be true in the same sentence. We don't need to run it. I wish we didn't run it. We're unstoppable regardless, man. I mean, it's just simple physics. We have the best line and the strongest quarterback. I mean, we could do the old Tom Brady QB sneaks and still do 4th and 2s and 4th and 3s. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you guys would if Patrick could. Every team would if they could. The whole issue here is only one team does this, and no one can stop us, except the Buccaneers. They stop us a lot. But I digress.
You kind of missed the point. I was talking about the tush push. I don't give a damn about Jalen Hurts. I was more, or the Eagles in general, I was more of saying about the play and what Jalen Hurts' career is going to look like because they run that play. I couldn't care less about the Eagles. Like, I mean, who cares about them, bro? Like, you come on and you talk shit on the Chiefs, and yeah, they look bad. They're ass right now. We all know it. But I'm just talking about that play. If they didn't have that play, their success would not be what it is today if for that play. That's all I'm saying.
Brother, the Eagles run the tush push. How are you going to talk about the tush push and then say, I don't give a fuck about Jalen Hurts or the tush push? That sounds ridiculous as fuck. I'm going to exit the chat, my guy. I said nothing about the Chiefs. I did not come here to talk about the Chiefs, man. I only entered because y'all decided to bring up Jalen Hurts and his career arc because we're successful on 4th down plays. Be real, man.
So, I don't know about y'all, but is the Chiefs and the Eagles starting to have a little bit of a rivalry? I mean, they have played 5 years in a row, which is crazy for two teams in the opposite conference. So, I mean, you meet in 2 Super Bowls and you both win one. It does make for some, that's kind of a rivalry brewing. I wonder if we'll one day get that third rubber match or not. I mean, I guess it could be this year. I'm holding out because I'm a little. I love my Chiefs, but I'm not feeling amazing about them so far this year. I mean, obviously, 0-2 is tough, but appreciate y'all, Chuck Lace and Lavar. You know what it is.
You're listening to Cap Free Sports Radio.
NFL scoreboard. Week 2. Green Bay 27. Washington 18. Seattle 31. Pittsburgh 17. Los Angeles Rams 33. Tennessee 19. Buffalo 30. New York Jets 10. Detroit 52. Chicago 21. Baltimore 41. Cleveland 17. Dallas 40. New York Giants 37. Overtime. San Francisco 26. New Orleans 21. New England 33, Miami 27, Cincinnati 31, Jacksonville 27, Indianapolis 29, Denver 28, Arizona 27, Carolina 22, Philadelphia 20, Kansas City 17, Atlanta 22, Minnesota 6, Tampa Bay 20, Houston 19, San Diego 20, Oakland 9.
When the Chiefs lose, as they've done twice now, I kind of get a mild case of writer's block. And I don't even know if I really mean that. And I don't even know if it's just that I just don't really, I'm not up to getting to the immediate podcast. I don't know. Because both times they lost, I could have came on easily the next day and ran it. I just, for whatever reason, I didn't and actually waited a few days. But I did make a post recently about 2 weeks ago. During the first game, I was just like, I got such an emotional attachment to the Chiefs that sometimes I may not be fully rational when, reviewing them. Because I'm like Coach Boone on Remember the Titans. I demand perfection, and we've been spoiled so much in the last 7 years that, we almost expect a lot. But no matter what, whether the last 7 years or every year before that, the one thing I don't do is turnovers. So let's just not do that, especially a fumble. But any type of turnover, interception ain't no better. But fumble is annoying. Don't fumble. Anyway, though, I'm probably going to try to burn through this segment because it's getting late. I'm actually past my bedtime. Luckily, I've got relief on the way in the form of Chief Morris. Again, you guys know Chief Morris does not miss. He makes every parlay. So, we're going to hear from him on his week 3. I believe that's what he's got on his platter, hopefully. Because I'm going to put my week 3 thoughts until at least tomorrow. But I will discuss this week 2, right? And here's the week 2 headlines, at least. So, there's Joe Burrow and there's several other quarterbacks that are hurt all of a sudden, right? You've got J.J. McCarthy. He's going to miss week 3 coming up. Justin Fields caught a concussion. He is going to miss week 3 also. It feels like there's another one, but I am trying to burn through the segment. So, Joe Burrow, quarterback injuries. The Chiefs 0-2. Fox forcing us to watch the Lions instead of switching us to the Dallas game. That was annoying. Chargers, they look incredible. Yeah, Fields looks the opposite of incredible. How about the Steelers? They blew the game that they had in control with Seattle. They blew it. And then the Colts, who have not punted yet in 2025, had the game lost. They lost the game, but then they won it. So how about that? And these kickers are incredible. So that's the headlines. Let's dig into it a little bit. As far as Joe Burrow goes, it's getting pretty regular, ain't it? That didn't even last the second week. Dang. Had an incredible season last year for no reason. No playoffs at the end of it. We're talking about a guy that made the Super Bowl 4 years ago by beating Mahomes in Arrowhead to go to the Super Bowl. And then not winning the Super Bowl, but either way, it just seemed like, wow, this guy's here. And then he has an injury the next year, or whatever it was. No, the next year they came back and got beat by the Chiefs. The year after that, he got hurt. They missed the playoffs. Last year, he goes incredible. Gets Jamar Chase the triple crown of receiving, meaning most yards, catches, and touchdowns. And just Burrow has an incredible season. He's got people believing that he's probably the best quarterback in the league. And then here comes this year, and we fully expect Cincinnati to be a great offense again this year. Try to be a better defense, but either way, they come into the season knowing they can't do their slip-ups at the beginning of the year like they normally do and lose the first week or two. So, week 1, they're fine. They beat Cleveland. It wasn't pretty. They got the win, though. And then Burrow's out of that game against Jacksonville early. And honestly, Jacksonville's got the lead about the whole game. And then Cincinnati would get back in it. They'd tie it. Jacksonville would take the lead again. But it ended up where the one time Jacksonville kicked the field goal, Browning at quarterback, Jake Browning was able to lead Cincinnati down the field and get a touchdown at basically the end of the game to win it. So Cincinnati is 2-0. So they did the right thing as far as not getting off to a slow start. And this game was a shootout, 31-27. So their defense might not be looking great again this year. They looked okay week 1, but Cleveland's a little slow on offense. But Jacksonville was able to move it on them pretty easily and score. So, but how do we look at this going forward with no Burrow? They got Minnesota here coming up, but McCarthy's out on the other side. So but it's in Minnesota. So we'll just see. Cincinnati could be 3-0. The worst they can be is 2-1, but they're talking about Burrow like he's going to be out for quite a while. 3 months is what I've heard. So, with like a middle of December return date, if he does at all. So, I haven't fully looked at Cincinnati's schedule. I will eventually, of course. It's right now. It's week to week. I think we all believe Browning can play pretty good. He showed the time he played 2 years ago. He was decent, and then the other day he was decent, and he was decent enough to lead a game-winning drive. And I mean, he played basically that whole game, so that was basically his game. So he basically got a win. Though I guess it'll count for Burrow as the win because he started the game, but we'll just see. I think we believe Browning can play, but can Cincinnati hold their head above water long enough to be in the race if Burrow is able to return towards the end of the season? That's going to be a very interesting storyline. Skip that next topic for a moment. Fox, you'll hear about Fox and them here in a minute. So these Chargers, man, they look so good. I mean, they said on the broadcast, they're like Herbert with 2 healthy wheels underneath them. Just looks like a different player. And Herbert looks locked in. I'm not going to lie about it. Keenan Allen's back there, stepping like he was terrible for Chicago. Comes right back and he's amazing for the Chargers. I'm overexposed to McConkey in fantasy and best ball. And I'm a little upset so far because McConkey, I was expecting overwhelming volume, like Wes Welker type volume. But that's not going to happen as long as Keenan Allen's there. But that's not it. Because you got Quentin Johnston, who couldn't catch a cold last year, that's catching bombs and touchdowns from Herbert. I think he has 3 already this year. Definitely had a 60-yard touchdown the other night against the Raiders. And I think he had 2 in the first game. Well, against us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had 2. And so that makes 19 pro games, and he's caught 11 touchdowns. So while he couldn't really catch last year, he was doing touchdowns at a decent rate. So if they get that guy going, and McConkey's fine, he just isn't overwhelming like he did. He's done fine. I just wanted 10 catches every game from him. But they got to. The only thing on their offense, they need to figure out a running game besides Herbert. But Herbert's doing fine running. But Hampton, I don't got a lot of Hampton in any of my fantasies. Not because I don't like him. I thought he was a decent player at North Carolina. Although, I take ACC players with a grain of salt. And that's not as a SEC homer or anything like that. That's a everything else homer. Because the SEC and the Big Ten, you can make the argument Big Ten's ahead right now, whatever. They are clearly the cream. And the Big 12 it's not quite there. It's actually pretty far off of the SEC and the Big Ten, to be honest. But they got competitive games, and they do play defense. So you can get away. In my opinion, it's not like you can never draft an ACC player. That's not what I'm saying. It's just the preference would be Big Ten, SEC, Big 12 before you get all the way down to the ACC. So Hampton is not giving people what they thought they were going to be getting. And honestly, I got a lot of Najee Harris shares, which I was feeling great about up until whatever happened to his eye. I heard that might not, I don't know. There's different stuff on that. Might not have been a firework accident now, apparently. But either way, they might have to put Najee Harris in to get some sort of a running game. And then their defense, oh my God. Interception the first play. They're swarming to the ball. Yeah, I mean, they're taking away, they're leaving you the underneath, but they still close on it so fast that it ain't there for you. And they're blitzing from wherever they want. Defense looks good. And, I mean, Raiders ain't a lot, I guess. But, I mean, they beat us. They beat the Chiefs. So, and I think they got Denver this week for sure. But it's in San Diego. And then I believe their schedule lightens up for a little bit after that. So, if they beat Denver, which I think they will, but I hope they don't. If they beat Denver, they'll be 3-0, and I think their schedule lightens up. They could run off like 6-0 or something. And that could put the Chiefs in a tough spot because, I mean, I hope the Chiefs are able to beat the Giants. You would definitely hope. Because the Chiefs, in week 4, they got Baltimore. In week 6, they got Detroit. So, my goodness. Chiefs got a hell of a schedule coming up. And these Chargers could roll off 6-0. I mean, Chiefs ain't going to have no room for any type of error if they're trying to win the division for the 10th year in a row. So, that's the Chargers. I'm giving them their props. I ain't going to say that right now. Justin Fields, oh my God, just terrible. How the hell did he look so good in week 1 and then come back and look so damn terrible in week 2? Couldn't even complete a pass. Even on the one good run that he made, he fumbled the ball. Fields was terrible. I just got no other way to say it. Buffalo's defense can't be that great because they just got 40 put on them. Granted, it is by Baltimore week 1, but their defense can't be that great to where you just totally make a guy look like an idiot. Oh my God, that's so rude. I don't mean to say that. I do not mean to I'm not calling Fields an idiot. The way he was playing was pretty idiotic, but it was just terrible. That's enough. Fields was so bad. I think we all know it. I don't know why. That was just in my notes because that was I thought of that. Because I don't know, because the Chargers were so good, Fields was so bad. Steelers, man. My goodness. I thought they would be able to handle Seattle, especially in Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's got a problem, and the problem is their defense. They're giving up 31.5 points a game or whatever right now. Both teams at least scored 31. Seattle, yeah, and the other one, 31.5 exactly, yeah. So, I don't get it, because they was ahead, at least by a touchdown, and then apparently they had a miscue on a kickoff. Oh, I don't know. And then Caleb Johnson, who I need to get on the field, is apparently never going to get on the field, especially after whatever he did with the fumble deal on the kickoff, walking away. Oh, terrible, bro. 31-17 Seattle after being down by a touchdown. Ugh. And then now they got New England this week, so that should be interesting. I mean, I'd like to think Steelers, but I don't know. Pats looked good last week, honestly. We'll see. I got faith in Rodgers. I know the mainstream media does not. I do. So I'm expecting at least a playoff push. I mean, here's the thing. Pittsburgh goes over 500 or 500 every year with Tomlin. So he's been their coach since 2007. So that should be an automatic lock. And then you just need Rodgers to get you 1 or 2 wins to ensure you get to the playoffs. If somehow Pittsburgh finally has a losing season, you really can't blame Tomlin, can you? That would get interesting. The media would definitely kill Rodgers for that. Okay, the Colts, oh my goodness. The Indianapolis Colts have played 2 full football games, and the Indianapolis Colts have not punted the ball not one time. Wow. So, in week 1, they played a pretty dead-looking Miami Dolphins. So that is what it is. Dolphins looked a little more alive this second week, so maybe the Colts took them out of it. And then on the other side, I mean, but then they played Denver, who we all expect. Denver was a playoff team last year. Denver has a really good defense and a decent, really good young quarterback. So, to not punt against Denver's defense is crazy, the way I see it. I mean, Miami's one thing. Denver's defense is a whole nother thing. To never punt, You're doing something very, very right, Danny Dimes. Or what are they calling him? Indiana Jones? That's wild. Looking too good. The thing is with that game, though, the Colts, they tried a 60-yard field goal to go ahead by a point with a few seconds left. And they missed the kick to the right. But Denver was flagged for leaping, personal foul, 15 yards. So the Colts got to redo the field goal from a 60-yarder. Obviously, you can do the math. 15 makes 45 yards. And he drills it, and they win 29-28 against Denver. So, and guess what? The field goal at the end of the game was not a punt. So they still ain't punted. And now they play at Tennessee this week, which I think a lot of people is going to... I feel like that's a trap on the bets. I'll just say that right now. I'll be filling these spots, and I ain't gonna lie, most of the time I've been not right. Used to be a lot better at filling the weird spots, but that one feels like it could be weird because everybody's gonna think Indianapolis automatically because of the way they've looked, and then everybody still thinks Tennessee sucks, which they do, but they're starting to show a little more life. And it's at Tennessee. So, but I think, people's going to be on the Colts. The thing is, look at that line. It's almost an even money line. It's like a 3-point spread for the Colts. So that smells real fishy. Just like the Raiders and Washington line. Although, is Jaden Daniels out? I think he might be. Washington only favored by 3 against the Raiders. So, that's 2 games I probably might go on the Colts a little bit, not a lot. They ain't going to be in my big play, I'll tell you that. And then, these kickers are absolutely incredible. I mean, dude, 64 yards to force overtime for Aubrey. And, I'm assuming we all think he's the best kicker, but, these kickers around the league are just... 58 is like a chip shot these days. Back in my day, no, it wasn't even that long ago. 10 years ago. Definitely 10 years ago, probably 5 years ago. 50 yards field goal was still a long field goal. Now, I don't know, what's the limit here? You expect these guys to make it from... It's crazy you expect them to make it from 65. You definitely expect them to make it from 60. So basically, 60-yard field goal is the new 50-yard field goal. Anything over 60, I guess we can understand if you missed. The thing is, they ain't going to miss them short. If they miss, they're going to miss it left or right. So that'd be a skill deal rather than a power deal. They all got the leg. The Cam Little dude hit a 70-yarder, Jacksonville's rookie, in the preseason. So, kickers are insane. Oh my goodness. Now let me go back up my notes and get to the topic. I know at least one person said that they can't wait to hear. So, here we go. See, I tried to be brief with all that, and it took like 20 minutes anyway. So, I'm going to try to be brief on these Chiefs and Eagles. We'll see how that goes. Oh my goodness. Where to really start? Well, Jalen Hurts, 101 yards passing, right? Did a good job, slowed down the pass game. Saquon Barkley, 88 rushing. That's a good number. It's not 100. 22 carries makes a 4.0 average. Doesn't excite you, but 4.0 does work, just in case anybody's unclear of that. If you did 4 every time, you would continue to move the chains. Thing is, though, both Hurts and Barkley did find the end zone, so that's points on the board for the Eagles, right? We'll get to the Chiefs' attempts to put points on the board in this game. Mahomes, 187 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Mahomes also 66 rushing on 7 carries. He also found the end zone with his legs. The Chiefs' receiving touchdown was Tyquan Thornton on a bomb, 49-yarder, towards the end of the game, 3 minutes to go-ish. Kelsey, the leading receiver, 61 yards on 4 catches. Kareem Hunt, 31 rushing. Isaiah Pacheco, 22 rushing. Pacheco with a 2.2 average. You know, as far as Pacheco goes, I've seen enough. I am not trying to be a hater. Like I said last time, I appreciate the guy's, effort, heart, all that. I really do. But the production, it just ain't there. It just ain't there. He was a 7th round pick. He was a 7th round pick for a reason. And yeah, he was a steal there for a little bit of time. I don't know if it's the injury because even his numbers early last season were not bad. That injury has really put a damper on Pacheco, man. And I ain't sure what year he's in, if this would bring him up on a contract year or not. It must not, because the contract year is supposed to be undefeated, and this he's ass. Pacheco's ass. He got no vision. He sucks. I don't want Pacheco to play. Put the Smith kid in. I don't care. I guess if you have to put Hunt in, it's going to be real slow and boring, but damn. At least Hunt got, a 3.9 average in this game, 8 for 31. Pacheco, 10 carries for 22. I can't do it. And then Smith, he gets one carry for 2 yards. I mean, you can't really do nothing with that. I mean, and then Mahomes. Listen to Mahomes' receivers on this game. You got Kelsey, Thornton, Hollywood Brown, Remigio, Pacheco, Smith-Schuster, Kareem Hunt, and Noah Gray. And Noah Gray ain't been getting much action this year. So, that's a crazy sounding thing. So, after the game, by the way, Philadelphia won the game, 20 points to 17 points for the Chiefs. So, after the game, I texted my OG from work. I told him, I just said, that's hard to watch. He's like, yep. And then a little bit later, I texted him, I said, man, we need Eric Bieniemy. Which I'm talking myself into believing that. It may be true, because the last time we had a good offense was with him. And we haven't had one since then. This is the 3rd year without Bieniemy, and we ain't got an offense that looks very good, except for Mahomes running. But when I said to him that we need Bieniemy, he said, we need Rice and Worthy. And I guess that's probably fair. So, but it's been the same story for 3 years now. And some people that are casuals, the people that are online and will tell you that the refs favor the Chiefs and all this shit, they'll say that Mahomes and the Chiefs offense hasn't looked good since they traded Tyreek Hill. But it's not true. Because they traded Tyreek Hill before the 2022 season. And Mahomes won the MVP in 2022. And the offense was great in 2022. So, Hill wasn't the reason that the offense sucks now. It's just, I think it's got to be Bieniemy. So, hopefully Rice, because Rice was starting to really make some noise. Towards the end of his rookie year, and then starting off last year, he was getting open, catching that ball and running with it. I'm hoping he comes back in and just gets right back to that right away, because the Chiefs need it bad. And then Worthy, man, that's got to be. I mean, I got a 20% of my shares on Best Ball of Worthy. I don't have him in a league though, out of 10 leagues. Because that's how I knew he would be. Like, he's going to have huge games and then some not so good games. But the thing with Worthy is, we expect him to have at least 6 weeks of solid production each week. So this guy, he's played 1 game. We played 2 games. He ain't got no catches. He has a run attempt for no yards because he got hurt on the 3rd play of the season running into Kelsey during a route. And the hit didn't even look that significant. So that's what's concerning about Worthy. If that little hit is going to take Worthy out, and we'll see how long. We'll see how long. Who knows? It could go a while. He could be back now, they say, or whatever people say. The sooner he's back, the better I'll feel about it. Because the Chiefs need him. They need him. There's no doubt about it. They need him. They need somebody. They need a running back and they need a receiver. The thing is, people will say, Lavar said it earlier, that our line is ass. It ain't true. Simmons has been doing a good job. We might have hit on the tackle finally, the left tackle. Right tackle has played, I heard it the other day. It was crazy. He played like 53 games with the Chiefs, and in 46 games he's had a penalty. So it was kind of crazy. Like 7 games where he didn't have a penalty. So that's the line. You know, the line's okay, but we got nobody to run it, so it don't matter. I like what Tyquan Thornton's doing. I appreciate that. I liked him anyway, but he can definitely fit in here. I would like to have seen more out of Hollywood Brown, although I would say that Hollywood Brown, I don't know if it's his fault or it's just the offense, his separation wasn't really there on any of the catches he had. And I just now looked, but what I was saying is, yeah, every time he caught it, he was hit like immediately. So I was curious. And it says he got targeted 5 times and he caught the ball 5 times. So he did good. The week before he had a big drop on a 3rd down. That's always a huge drop if it's 3rd down. So yeah, he had a huge drop on 3rd down. And then he had one where it wasn't a drop, but it was like the route got messed up somehow. And could have been on Mahomes, I guess, but it's hard to say that, right? As far as this game goes, you know, first half, not a lot. Barkley puts them on the board in the first quarter. Chiefs, at some point, by the way, Butker missed a field goal, and it was in the first half. But Butker puts the Chiefs, yeah, it was before this, because he missed one before he made one. So it's 7-3, Eagles touchdown, Chiefs field goal. Little under 3 minutes to go in the half. Mahomes scrambles for a 13-yard touchdown. Chiefs are up 10-7. Eagles get in a position enough to try a field goal at the end of the half. 58-yarder, like we're saying about these kickers, they don't miss anymore. So 10-10 at halftime. Chiefs take the ball to start the half. Oh my God. So the Chiefs run 1 play and they run 2 plays, right? And they got a 3rd and 1. And on this 3rd and 1, the Chiefs, this is going to be one of Hollywood Brown's catches, like I was saying, how 5 catches, 5 targets, right? 3rd down and 1 to start the second half. Somehow, on 3rd and 1, somehow, the receiver is running a route short of the sticks on 1 yard. What are we doing? They used to say check down Alex and this shit. This wasn't even a check down. This is a damn crossing route. This is a damn crossing route on 3rd and 1, short of the yard to gain. A 0-yard pass completion on a crosser. What? But also credit to the Eagles. They obviously, everybody knows they have an amazing defense filled with the greatest college players that we've been seeing from Alabama and Georgia and everywhere else. And at all 3 levels. I mean, their line's obviously great. Their secondary's obviously great. Their backers are good. It's like So they tackle good. So that's the thing. But here's the deal. 3rd and 1, we run a route short of the marker. So and he catches it, but he doesn't gain nothing. So it's still 1 yard to go. 4th and 1 with 13 minutes left in the third quarter. 13 minutes and 1 second. And the Chiefs elect at this point, and the game is tied at 10. Their own 36-yard line. They're going to go for the 4th and 1. Which it was a long one too, by the way. So even if you did a sneak, which they won't, they will not do a quarterback sneak. They might do a tight end sneak with the 3rd tight end. We've seen that. No, they hand it off to even if they did a sneak, it's not guaranteed at a yard and a half or a yard and a quarter of a yard. So they hand it off to Hunt. And Hunt not only doesn't get 1 yard, he loses a yard. He actually fumbles the ball and recovers it himself. But 4th and 1, own side of the field, first possession of the second half tie game, knowing that you can't even run a route past the sticks on 3rd and 1. I think this is a punt spot here. I really do. Because the punter's been punting good. Defense has been doing good. You had 3 downs. You at least had 1 down before this to get a yard. I think this is a punt. I think it's a punt. And it's not just saying it because it didn't work. I think it's a punt because of everything else I just said. The defense is playing well. The punter's hitting them good. But if it's not going to be a punt, which I understand there's a lot of teams that they'll do this these days. Even on your own end, they'll do it. And you can definitely understand if you're at the 50 or crossed. But at your own 36-yard line, if it is a go for 4th down, which apparently for the Chiefs it is or it was that day, if it's a go for it on 4th down, it needs to be a play where you know you're going to get it. Not hand off to Kareem Hunt, right end, and lose a yard. So, I mean, that changed, I don't know how much that changed, but it definitely gave Philadelphia the ball because what'd they do? They go 3 and out? What did they do? They didn't do nothing. Yeah, Barkley for a yard, 3rd and 8, incomplete. They did nothing. Philadelphia did nothing with the ball. They gained 2 yards, and then they kicked a field goal and made it, 51-yard field goal. So the Chiefs just gave them 3 points. The defense literally gave up nothing but 2 yards. 1 and 1 to Barkley and an incomplete pass. So they gave the Eagles the lead. And that brings us to the turning point of the game when the Chiefs are they goal to go down here when this happens? They are. Oh. And that's because, they went for another. Damn. They go for a 4th down at the 13. And Kareem Hunt picks it up. On 4th and 1, he gets 3. So they did it again. And this is at the Philadelphia 13. So now the Chiefs have not only went for a 4th down where they should have punted in their own end. Now they went for a 4th down where you could make the case with 14 minutes left. So you're in the 4th quarter. You're down 13-10 at the 13-yard line. You could tie the game with a field goal. Although, Bucker's not, he's missed 2 this year already, so I don't think he would miss from that short, though. You're talking about a 30-yard field goal. So you could do that. So the Chiefs could have tied the game. There was already a 4th down. And that's the other part about what's coming up here, is you're all the way, you're in field goal range to tie the game anyway. So this is just such a huge play when on first and goal from the 10, Kareem Hunt gains 4 yards, bringing up a second and goal from the 6. And that is when Patrick Mahomes' pass is intercepted by Philadelphia at the goal line after it is in Travis Kelce's hands. And off Travis Kelce's hands right into the defender. So the initial reaction to that by a lot of people, including myself, was, my God, Kelce has this stupid F-up every single huge game. Every single huge regular season game, Kelce fucks up. He either fumbles in the red zone, which he did against Philadelphia on the Monday night game 2 years ago, or he fumbles. And in that one, they were trying to go up by 2 scores. They were already ahead by 3. They could have went up by 10 and pretty much won that game. Same deal with Cincinnati. They were ahead of them, and they were going in to take a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter, and Kelce fumbled in Cincinnati. Or they may not have been in the red zone in Cincinnati, but they were at the 30. And so this game now, after you already decided not to try a field goal a few plays before, which would have tied the game, now Kelce's at the goal line with the ball coming into his hands, and he's going to catch it and score and put the Chiefs ahead 17-13. But not only does it bounce out of his hands as a drop, but it bounces out of his hands into the Philadelphia guy's hands for an interception. And to add to that, the Philadelphia guy returns it to at least the 40-yard line. So, starting at their own 40-yard line, their own 41-yard line with 12:56 to go in the game, you got Barkley for a yard and a face mask, 15 yards on the Chiefs, a Minihue. So from the 43, Barkley for 7, an incomplete pass. Excuse me. 1st and 10 from the 43. Barkley for 7. Hurts with a pass for 5 to Granson. 1st and 10 at the 31. Barkley for 0. Incomplete pass. So you got a 3rd and 10. Philadelphia is up 13-10. The Chiefs have failed to get points multiple times today. Butker missed a field goal earlier in the game. Kelce drops a pass that turns into an interception. And now you still are going to have a chance because you got a 3rd and 10 from the 31. You know they can kick a field goal from there and take a 6-point lead, which I would assume if they go incomplete, they probably would try the field goal. But on 3rd and 10 from the 31, Jalen Hurts gets rushed, and he has to throw up basically a one-on-one ball that McDuffie just allows to fall right into Devontae Smith's hands at the 3-yard line. And he does. He gets a good tackle on him. Nice little body slam. But you got to knock that ball down and force 4th down, buddy. I don't know what McDuffie, man, sometimes. I don't know. Because that's a huge spot. Like, you got to knock that one down. Make it a 6-point game with the field goal. Then you give Mahomes a chance. Instead, you let this guy catch it, and you put him 1st and goal at the 3 with 9:54 to go. And now this is the worst part, actually. Of all of that, I mean, no, this is all bad. Honestly, it's all bad. The Kelce drop to a pick, that's terrible. That's actually really awful. But then McDuffie allowing the catch on 3rd and 10, that's terrible. And just to add to all of it, instead of just having them run right in on 1st and goal at the 3, which would preserve the clock a little bit, instead Barkley goes backwards to the 5, minus 2 yards. They give it back to him. He gets 4. They're at the 1. You know what's coming. Tush push. 3rd and goal at the 1. Tush push. Doesn't get it. Looks like maybe he did on replay. It was reviewed and upheld. So that's another 40 seconds because he got stopped there. 4th and goal. Tush push. Touchdown. So they got the touchdown anyway after all that. But they had 1st and goal with 10 minutes left, and now they've taken an extra 2 minutes off the clock. So that's exactly what the Chiefs didn't need. If they're going to score it anyway, just score it on 1st down. But Philadelphia, they kind of know what they're doing. And they stretched out that to make the time go good. Yeah, no. Just reviewing this, the way, and the play-by-play, reminds me of how terrible everything was. Like, you got the Kelsey drop, and the McDuffie deal, and then all of this. It's just terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Because they could have had it. Like, they could have had the game. Now, it's whatever now. I mean, there's 7 minutes to go. Oh, that's the other. I guess that's one more thing of this game that matters, I guess. So 20-10, and the Chiefs get the ball with 7:48 to go. Here's the Chiefs' possession. Patrick Mahomes, 3-yard gain, left end. Patrick Mahomes, incomplete. Patrick Mahomes, incomplete. So 4th and 7 at your own 29 with 7 minutes to go. Down by 10 points. It's a punt. Now you're punting. You're punting now, but you didn't punt when it was 10-10. 7 yards ahead of where you are here. I don't understand the punt there. I do not understand how the hell you punt there, but you didn't punt earlier. Like, at this point, you need to score twice. You can't punt. What? I don't know. They do punt, though, and the Eagles get it. It's Barkley, Hurts, Barkley. All runs until a 3rd and 10 pass is caught for 6 yards, which, of course, look, they can't just throw an incomplete and stop the clock. No. So they punt. They punt it back to the Chiefs. This is where Mahomes misses a deep one. Yeah. Sacked on 1st down. 2nd and 13. Mahomes has a deep, wide open Thornton. And does not. He misses him by a mile. It's a terrible throw. He's got him wide open. Nobody's even close. 3rd and 13 is an incomplete pass, but the Chiefs, I'm going to say it, they get bailed out by roughing the passer. Incomplete. Just racking up incompletions in this later in the game. God damn. Hits a 21-yard play to Remigio on 3rd and 10. Then there's a Jawan Taylor holding on the next play where Mahomes had run. So 1st and 20 from the 49, Mahomes hits a 49-yard touchdown to Tyquan Thornton. So even on the drive where Mahomes missed him so bad, he ended up scoring anyway with him. So it's kind of like all for naught on that. With 3 minutes to go and the Chiefs are out of timeouts. Now they're down 20-17. They try the onside kick and they don't get it. Then you got on 1st and 10, no timeouts, 3 minutes to go in the game. The total the worst thing that could happen is Barkley running for 9 yards on 1st down. But guess what happens? Barkley for 9. 2nd and 1. Tush push, no good. 3rd and 1. And they need a 1st down to win the game. They get it with the tush push. The game over. Bam, bam. 0-0. And it's fairly indisputable that both of Philadelphia's guards had false started on multiple tush pushes during the game. but it wasn't called, so I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, you're not, in my opinion, I pretty much agree with Lavar that we're not going to stop that play no matter what. But it would, the false start's kind of bullshit. It really is. But the thing is, you can't you can't miss field goals. You can't drop the ball going into the end zone to turn it into an interception. When, look, if Kelsey drops that ball and it hits the ground, then they got third down, first of all. But even if they don't get that, they can tie the game with the field goal, which they could have already did when they had a fourth down. It's just, and then you don't put, everything was wrong. They tried to not punt, it didn't work. They forego a field goal to get into the end zone, and it should have worked, and it didn't work, and it turned out disastrous. And honestly, I don't know why that counts as a interception against Mahomes. I know why. I get it. I understand. But I think it's stupid because Mahomes didn't do nothing wrong on that. Although it was later determined that actually, is it Carter 98? Yeah, Carter 98 hit. He had a tip on the ball, which just slightly changed the trajectory of it. So that kind of absolves Kelsey from fault a little bit, if not completely. But yeah, I said before that game that's going to be the first game in a long time the Chiefs were set to take the field as clearly not the best team on the field. Philadelphia is definitely better than the Chiefs right now. I mean, they put together such a team. It's insane. And we can all say what we want about Hurts. He is definitely a game manager. And he's definitely a very good one. So, I mean, on that team, he just needs to limit. He has to limit errors, and he does that for the most part. And then he provides he can throw it if sometimes, but his running threat's crazy, especially in short yardage. It's a crazy offense if you think about it. That really is. Because, look, you got A.J. Brown over there. I don't know how many. He ain't doing a lot this year, but it don't even matter. Guy throws for 101 yards, but he throws for, 30 on the play to Devontae Smith, which was not even a good throw. But it's Philadelphia. They get it done. They do get it done. It's just how it is. We can't really be mad about it. It's like we've tried to tell people for years that have doubted the Chiefs. It's like they think, oh, you guys suck right now. You suck. Just like they probably think now. I'm talking about 2 years ago, the Chiefs were having real problems getting their ass kicked by the Raiders on Christmas. They were in the midst of a lot of shit. Tony going offsides in the Buffalo game. Just a lot of shit. They kept losing every close game. And you'd never hear the end of it online because they're sick of seeing the Chiefs win. Well, it's like with Philadelphia, they're finally turning a little bit off the Chiefs, a little bit, not entirely, not even quite. But they're eventually going to get sick of seeing Philadelphia win, but it's like, it's not their fault. You just have to know what you're dealing with. And right now, Philadelphia is the best team. I mean, they're the champs until they're proven otherwise. Is what it is. Chiefs definitely got to get their shit together when they go to New York this week. 0-3 ain't going to work, especially with Baltimore coming knocking after that. So they definitely need to have a win, and they need to be in the win column after this next game. That's really all I got to say about the Chiefs. Listen, that's going to do it for me on this one. I'm going to be back Saturday with my Week 3 preview. Turning it over to Chief Morris at this point. So as y'all know, T.Y. Hilton, boy.
Chief Morris here. Good morning. Forgive me for little distractions. I am driving currently and on my way to work. But it is Thursday, Week 3, baby. We got the what? We got Miami Bills tonight. That should be a decent game. I mean, it's a rival game. I'm sure there'll be some good TV moments watching it. But we'll see what happens. Train of thought for Week 3 here.
let me tell you, week 3, I'm really thrown off. I don't know what the hell is going to happen, but hey, train of thoughts, I'll give it to you. See what we got here. I'm going to try to make this quick as possible here. But let's see here. Packers going to the Browns. I got Packs all day. Go Packs. Simple as that. Until they prove otherwise, they are the best team in the NFL. Colts at Titans are quite literally right behind the Packers, I think. It's weird. Daniel Jones. Indiana Jones. Let's go. I like that. Indiana Jones. But they're going to the Titans against the rookie in Tennessee. Let's see here. I'm going to go Colts all day. Jonathan Taylor. Indiana Jones. Pittman. How about that? How about that tight end Warren out there? How about that rookie? The next Bowers, it looks like. I really like him. He's turning out to be one of my favorite rookies outside of EE. Abuka. Anyway, next game, let's go to, I'm calling Colts, by the way. Bengals, Vikings, my goodness. I can't believe Bengals came back and won last week. Thank God, that was my parlay that hit. I got pretty lucky there, but hey, we'll take it. Bengals, Vikings. Bengals, Vikings. You got Browning, backup quarterback, versus Carson Wentz, backup quarterback. You got, in my opinion, the 2 top best wide receivers outside CeeDee Lamb in that game going against each other. Old teammates out of LSU. Jefferson versus Chase. Damn, I seen a take the other day. Whichever wide receiver does best in this game is pretty much the best wide receiver out of the 2, given that they're both got their backup quarterbacks going against them. We'll see. But this is a tough one, if I'm being honest. I really don't know. It's at home for the Vikings, so I feel like it's going to be the Vikings. But this is truly a coin flip, a toss-up. You're probably going to hear that coin flip used a lot today. So, but this is a coin flip game. I'll go home field advantage for the Vikings. Steelers at the Patriots. This is going to be a fun game. It's going to be interesting. I look forward to this game. Again, I feel like it's the Pats. I feel like it's the Patriots. I feel like their offense is just going to blow up. But keep in mind, all over the north and on the East Coast this weekend, I believe it's raining. Like, there's forecast rain for all the East Coast and northeast games. So keep that in mind. If it does start raining in that Patriots game, Steelers defense will probably take over. But I'm going to go Patriots on that. And Travion Henderson, damn. That kind of hurts. So far, my take on him is incorrect. And hey, I'll take that. I'll man up. I'll take that. I'm finally moving him to the bench. Watch it happen. I move him to the bench, he'll go off. But I'm going Patriots if it's decent weather. If it's horrible weather, we're gonna go Steelers. Rams at the Eagles. That's gonna be very interesting. I don't remember who it was. Someone said something on Likings of, I believe, Eagles have only lost to 3 or 4 teams here recently in the last year and a half, and Rams is one of them. It's at Philadelphia. Unless there is a, knock on wood here, major injury, I can see the Eagles offense just come out and just, boom, go. But Eagles might. This is a weird take. You're gonna have to just deal with this one, but it's a weird take. You might see the refs favor the Rams in that game. It's just, there's a lot of reasons behind that, but it's also a coin flip game for me. I do not know. I've been leaning Eagles. If I had to choose, I'm gonna go Eagles. But anybody's game. Could be an overtime game. Jets at the Buccaneers. How about Tampa Bay pulling out 2 close ones the first 2 weeks, but looking like dogs doing it? I love it. I'm going Tampa Bay all day. Justin Fields is out with concussion protocol. Yeah, I'm definitely going Buccaneers, man. And, you know, I really was heavy on Mike Evans last week, touchdown. And, you know, I'm an idiot for not riding my own train on Egbuka. I mean, hell, I even double bet him on week 1 on accident. And it worked out. I'm not complaining. But I didn't follow it. I should have continued that bet into week 2. I may jump back on a train until proven otherwise. You know, that just is what it is. But I'm definitely going Eagles. I'm still going to be, or I said Eagles. I'm definitely going Buccaneers. I am still going to be heavy on Mike Evans TD. That might be another one I just kind of continue doing until it hits. We'll see what happens. But I definitely got Tampa Bay. They're winning that game at home against the Jets. Another close one. Raiders at the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is, I believe, it's out. Not 100% sure if that's confirmed yet. But if Jaden Daniels is out, I am going to go ahead and call Raiders. They're just, I don't know how to explain it. There's just something weird about these games. Week 3, I'm just going to go Raiders if Jaden Daniels is out. Jaden Daniels in, it's probably going to be a close game. Geno Smith and Pete Carroll didn't play so well against the Chargers last week, and I don't think they're going to allow that to happen 2 weeks in a row. So, we'll see what happens. That should be a fun game, honestly. Falcons at the Panthers. Falcon defense, honestly, they look good against Tampa Bay. They looked good this last week. Their offense is there. They'll have struggles here and there. I really like the Falcons in this game. Again, this should be another close game. Could be interesting. Panthers are 0-2. They got to win one. They are at home. This would be a great opportunity. Are they going to be able to protect Bryce Young? And that would just depend on what the Falcons defense does as well. But I'm going to go Falcons. Texans at the Jaguars. Oh boy. This is a toss-up. This is another coin flip. I just don't know. It's at Jacksonville. Can they... Man. I got a parlay that's got Texans in it. That's about as much as I can say. I see the Texans winning, but this is truly a coin flip. I'm probably against I picked Texas because they're a plus 100, 102. I figured this would be a both minus game on odds, but I really should be leaning towards heavy on Jags. Something says Texans written all over it for some reason. Broncos at the Chargers, another tough one, division game. Khalil Mack is out though. He hurt his elbow last week against the Raiders. That does hurt their defense. Not tremendously, but it does hurt. This is a coin flip game though. It really is. But something Bo Nix, I think, has a history. Yeah, 2 games. That's really good against the Chargers. So it'll be interesting to see if he can carry that momentum. But ideally, the Chargers win this game. And go Keenan Allen, dude. Dude back. It's like Keenan in third. He's very reliable. McConkey touchdown did not hit for me last week. I'm still riding that train. But he's also questionable right now with bicep injuries. Of course, it was Wednesday yesterday, and that's practice. Everyone's hurt and questionable. But ideally, Chargers win that game. Saints at the Seahawks. My goodness. Also a coin flip. I can see the Saints win this game. Is Seattle going old school? Or are they just back to like this old school fundamental run kind of heavy idea game? Like Seahawks just got this old school football written all over them. So, but I don't know how to explain that, but it's just that their Saints could win this game. It's got Saints written all over it, but Seattle at home. It's a coin flip. Cowboys, Bears. This is going to be fun, but someone please explain me the 50.5 over-under on this one. I almost want to say go bet the under on this right away. Cowboys and Bears. I'm confused. And maybe it hit the blowout. Secondary for Cowboys ain't that, they're great at it. The defensive scheme they play, they allow a lot of targets. And so the Bears wide receivers, the doomsday should be going off. It's probably the breakout week for DJ Moore. I'm going to, hey, Pickens, that was the one touchdown I think I hit last week was, Pickens. But I really am. Cowboys should win this game. But again, this is the coin flip. It's that the Bears, Are they going to go 0-3 with Ben Johnson? What's going to happen here? It got Bears written over it, all over it. It should be the Cowboys. This is the weird week 3. I'm not about it. I'm not a fan of this week. Matchups are crazy weird for me. This is just one of those weeks where I'm like, what? I don't know what to call. I don't know how to do or how to say. We'll just see. A lot of coin flip games. Cardinals at the 49ers. Another division game. Both 2-0. Purdy's still out, I believe. They say he had the chance. We'll see what happens. If he plays, I'm going right back to the Pearsall. Again, just like last week. If Brock Purdy's back to playing, I'm going straight to the Pearsall touchdown for a bet. I could see the Cardinals win this game. It is a coin flip game. This is a division game. Ideally, at the Niners, it's because they're at home, but Brock Purdy is out. Had the chance to play. We'll see. Even then, he probably won't be 100%. Niners defense, it's good. It isn't what it used to be. They lost some key players, but key players are always replaced at year in, year out. Coin flip game. I like the Cardinals for some reason on this, but ideally, again, this should be the Niners. But I like the Cardinals. That's Sunday midday. Let's see here. Sunday night. I didn't talk much on the Chiefs last week for good reasons. I was nervous. I just didn't, I'm optimistic this year. I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. It's rough. It's been a rough 2 weeks as a Chiefs fan in the sense of I wasn't really overhyped. I knew and I had it in my head that, hey, we're more than likely not going to win these games. We're going to start off pretty rough this year, and then we'll have a turnaround mid-season when we get Rice back and hopefully Worthy. But, hey, never fail. The Chiefs, they always figure it out. We learn from our mistakes. We move on to week 3 against the Giants. I'm calling Chiefs. This will be in a parlay bet for me. I had no doubts. Chiefs get their first win of the year. As far as Travis Kelce goes, stop talking. Go out there and play ball. Simple as that. That's all you can do right now. You need to go out there. You need to play ball. I'd like to see a game where he doesn't make a single mistake. Last week he made one mistake and it cost us. But a lot of other things could have been done about that game too to help or to prevent a loss. But go Eagles. Good job. You deserve that win. Chiefs, Giants, obviously Chiefs. It's going to be interesting because how is our offensive line going to protect Mahomes against 3 very good defensive ends there in the Giants defense? So that'll be interesting to watch. And, Russell Wilson and Neighbors can connect. They're going to have a great game. Unless our defense smacks the shit out of Russell Wilson. If that does happen, if we do hit Russell Wilson a few times, he will cower down and he'll play a bad game. So go Chiefs. And then last but not least, the Lions at the Ravens. Man, that's going to be a fun game. Monday Night Football. Lions at the Ravens. someone's got to go 1-2, right? Let they tie, but someone's got to lose. You got two top 4 running backs in this game. That's gonna be fun. Derrick Henry, Gibbs, you got Montgomery in that backfield too. I'm gonna go Ravens on this. Ravens defense will probably, if I remember correctly, Goff ain't got the best set versus the Ravens, although I don't think he played them that much either. I'm going Ravens on this game, and they just got the coin flip. Again, this is just, what a crazy week. Just, it should be a good week of football outside of fantasy and bets. It's just going to be a good week of football. I think it's going to be a lot of nail biters, maybe a couple of overtime. Hell, don't be surprised there's a tie this week in one of these games. I just think this is a weird week. A lot of underdogs might be coming up. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Ravens over the Lions. That's just a really tough and weird one for me. But I tell you, that's my week 3 kind of train of thought. Not a lot, just the money line bets and games being called. I will go a little over last week, week 2 for myself. I called one game, or I called, a lot of the games, and I made a parlay into it. 12-leg parlay, and I lost it by 1 game, and it was that Steelers game. Shame on me, but man, that was close. I had a good week last week in calling games. My main and big bet, as I told all you guys to do last week, hopefully some of you guys follow this, but I had the Green Bay Packers, Bengals, the Rams, and the Lions. I did get lucky with the Bengals, with Joe Burrow going out and heading to IR and Browning coming in. When Browning came in, I wasn't too worried, but then he started throwing picks left to right, and it was like, yeah, I had it in my head. I was losing that parlay. But hey, luckily the Bengals came back. They won. That was great. I took those 4 games. I was really confident, very confident in those 4 games, and then I added 4 more, and that was, I added the Cowboys, added the Chargers, the Niners. See here, I had the Cardinals, the Packers, the Rams, Cowboys, Lions, Bengals, Niners, and the Chargers. I did a little parlay on that one and hit out real nice on an 8th leg, and it was because of my first parlay. So this week, I really don't know. It's just a weird week. I made one up the other day, was thinking on it pretty hard. And I'll just tell you guys, the Colts, Tampa Bay, the Falcons, Eagles, Texans, and the Chiefs. But I am very iffy on the Eagles and the Texans game right now. So I'm going to play around. But the 4 out, I pretty solid on the Colts, Buccaneers, the Falcons, and the Chiefs winning. So if you want to go look at those 4 teams, add a little something to it, do what you want. But those are my top 4 teams. I feel like it's great in the parlay this week. And again, like I said before, I miss on a lot of these touchdowns compared to week 1 last week. So I'm still riding my Mike Evans train. I am jumping back on the Ibuka train. I'm on that Lad McConkey still, but man, Quentin Johnson too, and Keenan Allen, that's pretty cool. I don't see Keenan Allen doing it week in, week out though. If Keenan Allen's going to have a down week, it's going to be this week. If not all the wide receivers, because Denver's secondary is pretty decent. So that's going to be interesting. And let's see. Yeah. That's about much that I can give you guys. I got to get into work. I got a meeting to attend to. But hey, go Chiefs. I hope you all have a great week. And Chief Morris is out. Peace.